So in this lecture we will cover few more topics, and these topics are mass energy relation, that is we will derive the equation E is equal to mc square. So this will be the first topic, and then second topic will be relativistic momentum and energy and momentum. And then relativistic Doppler effect. So these are three topics which we will try to cover. So first put the heading mass energy relation. So our first topic is mass energy relation. So we will start with the Newton's second equation, Newton's laws of motion. The second equation, that is force is equal to dp by dt. And then we know that P is equal to linear momentum, which is mv. Generally we put m as constant and then we write it as m into dv by dt. But here because we are using the relativistic condition, therefore m will not be a constant, and therefore we will write it as dm by dt into v plus m into dv by dt. Now if we apply an external force F, and because of that force, if the displacement is ds, then work done dw is equal to F dot ds. So this will be dm by dt into v dot ds plus m dv by dt dot ds. Now we will write the same equation as dm v into ds by dt plus m dv into ds by dt. So ds by dt means it is the v, velocity. So it will be dm into v square plus, again this is velocity, so this is mv into dv. Now using the work energy theorem, this is equal to change in kinetic energy. The work done is equal to change in kinetic energy. Which is equal to delta k, or this is equal to dk. dmv square plus mv dv is equal to dk. Now we will start with a fresh relation, that m is equal to, so let us write the same equation as what we have derived. Let us write it here. So we have derived that dk is equal to mv dv plus v square dm. So this is our previous equation. Now start with this next equation, which is m is equal to m naught upon under root 1 minus v square by c square. So using this relation, we have m square, taking square of both sides, into 1 minus v square by c square is equal to m naught square, or this is m square minus m square v square by c square is equal to m naught square, or taking the LCM, it will be m square c square minus m square v square is equal to m naught square c square. So now let us multiply this whole equation by c square, then it will become m square c to the power 4 minus m square v square c square is equal to m naught square c to the power 4. Now differentiating it with respect to m and v, this will be m naught square c power 4 is constant. So or let us differentiate this equation before multiplying it by c square. It will be 2m dm c square, c is constant, minus 2m dm into v square, then minus m square 2v dv is equal to 0. Now 2m is common in all these factors, so we can cancel 2m, so it will become dm c square minus dm v square minus 2m is cancelled, so it will be mv dv is equal to 0. So this dm c square is equal to dmv square plus mv dv. So this dmv square plus mv dv, so this is nothing but dk, so this is equal to dk. So now we have equation that dk is equal to dm into c square. Now integrating within the limit m naught to m, means if mass changes from m naught to m, then what will be the kinetic energy? So this kinetic energy k is equal to integration from m naught to m dm and c square, because c square is constant. So kinetic energy is equal to c square into m minus m naught, that is it is mc square minus m naught c square. Now for any system, the total energy is equal to sum of kinetic energy plus rest mass energy. So total energy E is equal to kinetic energy, which is mc square minus m naught c square, and plus rest mass energy, which is m naught c square. So this m naught c square is cancelled with this, and then we are left with E is equal to mc square. So this is the relation which we wanted to derive. E is equal to mc square, mass energy equivalence relation. Now come to the next topic, which is the relation between relativistic momentum and energy. So put the heading relation between relativistic momentum and energy. So again we will start with the same equation, m is equal to m naught upon under root 1 minus v square by c square. Now we know that p is equal to m into v, so we will substitute this value. M is equal to m naught upon under root 1 minus, instead of v we will write p square by m square, so it will be p square by m square c square. Now taking the square of both sides, it will be m square into 1 minus p square upon m square c square is equal to m naught square, or it will be m square minus p square by c square is equal to m naught square, or it will be m square c square minus p square is equal to m naught square c square, or we can write it as m square and c to the power 4 minus p square c square is equal to m naught square c to the power 4. So this mc square of mc square, so this is the relation e square minus p square c square is equal to m naught square c to the power 4. Now this term m naught square c to the power 4 is a constant term. It is a constant term. Therefore, this factor, which is e square minus p square c square, this is invariant. This is invariant under Lorentz transformation. Under Lorentz transformation. Lorentz transformation. So in all the inertial frame, this value will remain as such, e square minus p square by c square. And this is the equation which we wanted to derive, that e square minus p square c square is equal to m naught square c to the power 4. This is the relation between the relativistic momentum and the energy. Now let us come to the next topic, which is relativistic Doppler effect. So put the heading relativistic Doppler effect. Relativistic Doppler effect. Doppler effect. So let us first see what is the Doppler effect. What is this Doppler effect? So Doppler effect means that if any wave is produced from a source. So let us write it. If any wave is produced from a source, now this wave may be a sound wave, it may be a light wave, or any other wave. So if any wave is produced from a source, the frequency will increase. The frequency will increase if observer and source are approaching themselves. So it is the relative motion. Observer is moving or source is moving, it doesn't matter. The main thing is that if the distance between, if the observer and source are moving towards each other, then the frequency will increase. On the other hand, if observer and source are moving far away from each other, then frequency will decrease. So this is the Doppler effect. And if we give our statement in terms of the wavelength, then opposite will be the case. That is, if any wave is producing or if any wave is produced from a source, the wavelength will decrease if observer and source are approaching towards each other. On the other hand, if observer and source are moving far away from each other, then wavelength will increase. So let us recall this for the light. Let us take the example of spectrum recorded of stars. So since stars are moving away from us, then we see red shift in the spectrum. Red shift means the wavelength is going towards the red color, that is red color has more wavelength, so red shift means wavelength is increasing. So because stars are moving away from the earth, therefore the wavelength is increasing. So this is what here written, that if the source and observer are moving far away from each other, then wavelength will increase. So this is the case. This is one example of the spectrum recorded for the stars. Now we have to apply the relativistic effect in this case, and again we will take our older frame of references, that is two frame of references, S and S dash. So this is S and this is S dash. This is the origin of the S frame, and this is the O dash, origin of S dash frame. This S dash frame is moving with velocity v. So this is our older picture of two frame of references, S and S dash, and both are inertial frame of reference. Here S dash is moving with a constant velocity v with respect to S. So now let us suppose that two light signals are produced at O in frame S at t is equal to 0 and t is equal to t. So the time interval is capital T. Capital T is time interval. So two pulses are produced. So the time period of the pulse is t. Capital T is the time period of the pulse. And then these two pulses are recorded by the observer in S dash frame at origin O dash, means our observer which is at the O dash position, means it is stationary with respect to S dash. So at this position these two pulses are recorded, and then for what will be the time period. So we will see what will be the time period recorded by the observer which is sitting at O dash. And because the observer which is at O dash is stationary, therefore the delta x dash will be 0. Delta x dash means when two pulses are recorded, then what is the space difference between the recording of two pulses. So that because the observer is stationary at O dash, therefore no motion, so delta x dash will be 0. Now we will write this as the equation. So let us go to the next page. And write the previous equation, that x is equal to x dash plus vt dash upon under root 1 minus v square by c square. So from this equation, delta x is equal to delta x dash plus v delta t dash upon under root 1 minus v square by c square. Or this delta x is equal to delta x dash is 0. This delta x dash is 0 because observer is stationary at O dash, so delta x dash is equal to 0. So this will be V into delta T dash, means this is the time interval as recorded between two pulses in the S dash frame. So we can put delta T dash as T dash, means the time period in the S dash frame. So it is Vt dash divided by under root 1 minus V square by C square. So this is one equation with us. That's delta x is equal to Vt dash divided by 1 minus V square by C square. Now let us proceed with another equation, which is T is equal to T dash plus Lorentz transformation plus Vx dash divided by Vx dash by C square, and then it will be under root 1 minus V square by C square. So again we will take here delta T is equal to delta T dash plus this delta X dash. So again delta X dash is equal to 0. So let us substitute this delta X dash is equal to 0. So this will be delta T dash upon under root 1 minus V square by C square, because delta X dash is equal to 0. So this delta T dash is equal to, so let us write it here. So delta T is equal to T dash divided by under root 1 minus V square by C square. So we have written delta X dash is equal to 0 because the observer at O dash is at stationary position in the S dash frame. So the one pulse is created at t is equal to 0, and then another pulse is created after some time at t is equal to t. So the second pulse will move more distance delta x, some distance delta x in frame S. Extra distance, this is the extra distance covered by second pulse, to reach at O dash. So what will be our equation? Our equation will be that delta T is equal to capital T, the original time period, plus the extra distance, which is delta x by c. So delta T means the time interval, the total time interval in S frame will be the time period T plus the time taken to cover the extra distance delta x by c. So now let us substitute this value. So delta T, which we have derived here, delta T is equal to this. So we will write T dash upon under root 1 minus V square by C square is equal to T plus delta x by c. Delta x is this much, delta x is this much. So it will be V by c, then T dash upon under root 1 minus V square by C square. So we will collect all the T dash on one side. So let us do in the next page. So we have to collect all the T dash on one side. So this equation will become T is equal to T dash divided by 1 minus V square by C square, and within bracket it is 1 minus V by C. So this can be written as T dash into 1 minus V by C under root whole square, and then divided by under root. So there is some manipulation. So it is 1 minus V square by C square. So we can write it as 1 minus V by C into 1 plus V by C. So 1 minus V by C is cancelled with this. So this is equal to T dash into under root 1 minus V by C, and then divided by within under root it will be 1 plus V by C. So this is our equation, that T dash is equal to T into 1 plus V by C divided by 1 minus V by C. Now if we write it in terms of frequency, this is time period, so let us write it in terms of frequency. So it will become 1 upon nu dash is equal to 1 upon nu into 1 plus V by C divided by 1 minus V by C, or nu dash is equal to nu into 1 minus V by C divided by 1 plus V by C. 1 minus V by C divided by 1 plus V by C. V by C. So if V is positive means the source is the observer is moving away from the source. If V is positive, it means that observer is moving away from the source. In that case, this factor will be less than the denominator. So this whole factor is less than 1. So nu dash is less than nu. If observer is moving away from the source, means V is positive. Observer is moving away from the source, so in that case denominator is more than the numerator, so this whole factor is less than 1, and therefore nu dash is less than nu, means the frequency is less than the original frequency. And if observer is moving towards the source, then V is negative. So what will happen? This equation will be like nu dash is equal to nu. Now we will put V as negative, so it will be 1 plus V by C divided by 1 minus V by C. In that case, this whole factor will be greater than 1. So nu dash will be greater than nu. Means if observer is moving towards the source, then frequency will increase. So the same equation can be written in terms of the wavelength. So let us write it in terms of the wavelength. So what will happen? Nu dash or 1 by nu dash. Nu is equal to C by lambda. So 1 by nu is equal to lambda by C. So here 1 by nu dash, so we will write it as lambda dash by C is equal to lambda by C under root 1 plus V by C divided by 1 minus V by C. So C get cancelled, and then lambda dash is equal to lambda into this factor. Now if observer is going away, from the source, that is V is positive, then what will happen? This factor will be greater than 1, so lambda dash will be greater than lambda. And if observer is moving towards the source, then V is negative. In that case, it will be 1 minus V by C. So this whole factor will be less than 1, and then lambda dash will be less than lambda. So this is what we have derived from the relativistic Doppler effect. So this is the last topic of the special theory of relativity. So now let us stop here.